Greetings. Welcome to our first little intimate class. I am actually, you can't see it, but I'm sitting on a stool. I'm not levitating. Let's get used to our little arrangement we're going to have here, because we're going to turn it up a notch now. You've gone through the introductions, you've gone through the mistake family, you've gone through what are pivotal numbers. Hopefully you've gone through those videos, and now it's class time. So here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to take a concept, the beginning root concept, that I need you to completely understand. And I take that concept and I write down just sheets with all of the things that come to mind on that. I've taken 40 years of observation here, so bear with me. And what I want to do is, these aren't going to be scripted, they're not going to be rehearsed. This is the take one, and this is what goes to you, as if you're sitting right here in class with me. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch them. I'm going to see if I've conveyed what I need you to know, and then we'll move on. And that's the process, one of many that we're going to be going through. So we need that exchange of ideas and the ability to flow from one teaching to the next. They build on each other. So yes, we'll get into formations, of course. Talk about that in a minute. But where am I at today on class 1, our one-on-one? We need to talk about tabula rasa. Yeah, I talked a lot about that on the intros. This is tabula rasa, layer 1. Welcome. First of all, my apologies to John Locke and the predecessors who eloquently described, expressed the idea of tabula rasa, or what we might call a clean slate. See, I got it. See, it's right behind me. It's a clean slate. This is not an essay concerning human understanding by any stretch of the imagination. Those are for other folks way smarter than me. But what I do want to get across is why I've made such a point of tabula rasa. Nobody embraces it more. And it's a very personal thing. Just as these teachings are going to do that, I don't want you a clone. I want you to take what you bring to the table, we polish it, we refine it, and then you have that pride in what you're doing. You know, that's the reason why, and see, here I go. I'm going to just hit you from where this is coming. People would buy a, quote, black box and it would spit out the trades. Eventually too many people would follow it, it would self-destruct, but there were some people at the beginning would make money. But you know, sometimes there was not the real pride in it, because it wasn't them. That's not corny. It's simply, if you're a professional, you've made the money and you're trading the market and you've reached that level, you want to feel that you have your input in it. Yes, you need guidance. Yes, you need instruction. Yes, maybe you need a teacher like me. But the thing is, you still need your personal stamp, and that's what I'm trying to do here. And that's why we need to clean the slate and then build with input from you. We're going to do it on this layer 1, you. Before we get to layer 2, the market, and combing the data, we need to do a process that sometimes isn't all that fun, and that's comb through ourselves. So maybe to me, tabula rasa means, it's the essence of the term tabula rasa. The beautiful concept of starting fresh. To me, that is just so beautiful. A clean slate, a fresh start. The beauty of a sunrise, the freshness that this can be. And maybe you haven't looked at trading that way, but you can. And it really changes everything. So if I take a word, a phrase like tabula rasa, and I show you what it means to me, maybe you'll get that same essence if you resonate with that. And you wouldn't be here if there's some reason you're sitting here right now watching me. And so it's that essence of freshness, of a clean, fresh start In your trading career, maybe you've been banged up. Everybody has. Everybody has. Join the club. But do you have to do it the same way again? No. That fresh start. But also the fresh start at night in the safe time on the market. See, we're taking concepts and we're applying them at different layers. Okay? And eventually the fresh start of maybe you've tightened the time frame in your office and you're able to go to a fresh start every minute. See, this is what we're taking a concept and expanding on it. So I'm taking liberties with a term like tabula rasa, but you see what it means to me, and I hope I've been able to convey that to you. It's very, I know you say, well, it's beautiful, but applying it to the market, yeah, to me it works beautifully. If a trader tells you that he hasn't faced starting over, the big picture tabula rasa, he's lying to you, or he hasn't traded very much, or he's the only one. But starting over, recreating can be a minute-to-minute thing, and it can be very pleasant as you acid test in the market. At some point, it has to end. Now, when I wrote down here, and this isn't just like a giant bar napkin, I do sit here and go through these and reflect the points I want to bring across and then further them. The battle has to come to an end of that me versus the market concept. We all have that. I shouldn't say everybody, maybe you don't, but most people, I did, it's me versus the market concept. Enter into an eloquent balance and a mutual respect. You got to do that. Yes. You say, well, let's talk about what the S&P is going to do tomorrow. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing right now. The eloquent balance and mutual respect that you have for the market. And you will discover why the market is actually there. That's sort of like level 6 maybe, but you'll see where we're going. Everything changes when you understand the market isn't against you. The fear is gone. The tension goes out the window. It's just the market is an experiment in the market laboratory. We're detached, we're an observer, and we're trying to reach towards perfection. We're going onward as we watch what bubbles up, the ongoing process. Simply flowing with what is given us in the only time period that we can have any control over, that we can trade, and that's now. Now. We talked about that, and I have to stress these points time and again. Repetition until they become habit. We have the power to control the now. It's all we need. That's all. They just gave it to us. It's all we need. So get ready. Let me tell you a fact up front here. The market has no problem whatsoever with you expanding your ring of influence. Key concept. Expanding, but through the layers, your ring of influence. As long, it doesn't have any problem with it, as long as you respect the rules or the laws. There's laws. There's laws in this. You started seeing that in the mistake family. We had 11 common mistakes that they're intertwined, as you saw. There's laws. And as long as you respect those laws and you don't think, well, I'm the guy that can get around them, you're in great shape. And the market will work right with you. And the market, instead of then being a battle, becomes a vehicle, a conduit to run the energies through and help you do what you want to do with your own personal life. It's a teaching vehicle in itself. Instead of going into the market, if I can just get this across, instead of going in tomorrow morning and looking at, I'm long gold, I hope it goes up, analyzing during the safe time of tabula rasa, a specific magical period, not a concept, not a theory, or it is a concept, but not just a theory, something out there, something we tangibly do. And then you say, I can't wait for that market to open. Not so I just see it went up $6, no, I got more profit on my gold. That will take care of itself. You're going to approach the markets from this, I can't wait till they open to see if it did this or this or this or this. That's the switch. That's what I'm talking about. Then it's easy for fear to be gone. You can't wait for it to open, because up or down, you say, you know, I can see that situation. And you gain that awareness just gets greater and greater and greater and greater. So every day becomes the market as helping you, not battling you. It's showing you what bubbles up. If I'm going to go through this time and again. If something bubbles up, and we're going to go through this right now, today, the specifics. If it bubbles up, then you go back in the safe time and you say, it bubbled up today. Be honest. What's the point? It's you and me sitting here. I'm sitting here going through these notes. You may be sitting there in your pajamas. We're just simply going through these and understanding that you have to apply them every single day in the market and then see where you stand. It's that acid test, and the market is now my partner. Thank you. You showed me that. Yeah, that fear still came up. Why? Well, it turns out I didn't do my homework. I didn't have the order here. I wasn't ready for that. Okay, then how are you going to do it? During the safe period, the magical time of tabula rasa, the clean slate. This is just so critical, and it's what I call the process. One of many aspects of the process, but part of the process. And what's the process lead to? Building the edge. We need to take a close look at you and me, and we need to take a look at the mistakes that are outlined on the video that I did, the mistake family. How many times you replicate the same error is totally up to you. You know, if you want to continue to replicate the same error, my suggestion would be paper trade for a while, pull back. Yeah, I don't care if you've done it 20 years, maybe you need to take a break. That's not the point. If the same errors are replicating, we need to address why those situations are come up and then build in the opposite. But to achieve the balance, to achieve what I call market equilibrium, you can't simply identify and say, I made a mistake. All right? What you have to do is offset that, quote, negative situation, and maybe it's positive because it's leading you to be a better trader. So you know where I'm going there. But let's just say you have a mistake, and I know I do that wrong. Then what are you and I going to do? How are we going to build this unique special package for you that overcomes that situation that you tend to do by executing its opposite? We can't just say you don't put stops in right. We've got to say, here's how we got to do it. Okay? Now, and the process will go on and on and on and on. It's individual. That's the point I have to get across. But we're not just saying, here's a mistake, quote unquote. We're saying we have a situation, and by utilizing the pivotal number trading system together with what I'm talking about here, you are going to build in these safeguards that cause you to override through executing the opposite. And we build the program, and we keep you under control, and the program will keep changing as it keeps going on and you reach towards perfection. Now keep this in mind, 95% of traders are losing. Now I think that's exciting, because that means obviously there's a tremendous amount of money to be made if you're not one of those. Somebody's making the bucks. And instead of sitting there and saying it's the hedge funds and the people with inside information, let's say it's the people who know themselves. What do we say? Why don't we just do that? This is when you might want to pick up the brick, that foam brick, so you don't hurt your monitor, and throw it at me. Cool. That makes you feel better. It's better, like I said, it's better than kicking the cat. Don't ever do that. Throw that foam brick at me. But maybe we just got to look at ourselves and say, it isn't them. They're not looking through the windows. This situation, the market is there to work with me, and I'm just going to look at it and analyze it every single day, what it's showing me. Okay? The quote, know yourself type thing. So, if its candlesticks are the answer, or the black box of the old days was the answer, or the current system is the answer, or stochastics and RSI are the answer, do they have value? Many of these, of course they do. All right? But do they? Obviously something's wrong, because even if the system is valid, the trader is losing. Now, that seems like a no-brainer. Don't we have to analyze why this is occurring? Isn't that what we're doing? So aren't we trading right now? Because this is where we're going to do this. This is where we're building this foundation off where those trades will come. Like I'm going to tell you, I can sit here and talk to you about, let's do this. This is an emotional pull, or this is this kind of opening formation. Those are the easiest videos in the world for me to do. But what are you going to do with it? If you don't put the package together with you, the person who's the observer executing the situation, are you detached or not? Obviously something is wrong, because people have systems that have value. I told you on one of the introductions, I know some of the people that wrote some of these systems, they never intended them to be used this way. I'm not going to go there right now with those specific situations, but there were individuals who authored some of these systems, who used them as part, they were professional traders and used them as part of the blend. They did not intend them to stand on their own, okay? Because they saw, they were professional traders, they were successful traders. I grew up watching them. And the fact is, they knew it was this me and all of it, that blend we had up on the board before we made it a clean slate. And so that's what I need to get across. What we put into the blend, what we put into the mix, what works for you, what doesn't, and then why aren't you executing? Because you've got tools at your disposal. God knows you can go on the internet and get tons and tons of data. Well, why isn't it what's happening? Because we need to go in and analyze, look at yourself, which is the only way. And really, do you think 95% of the people really do this? Do you think people want to, they don't want to hear this. They want to hear how they're supposed to, what's the crude oil going to do tomorrow morning? One page down. Here's an example. Numbers flash. The pattern develops. You got 3 losses in a row. You know what happens? You say, oh my God, I've got a profit and I just had 3 losses in a row. I better take the profit. You've been there, I've been there. We're going to do it anymore? What does the last loss have to do with this? Unless you're undercapitalized or something, or there's other issues, you think this is simple. The tabula rasa is telling us to boom. It's a clean slate. It makes absolutely no difference what you did in your last trade. As long as you're doing something you've got under control, and you're doing a system that makes sense, and letting the profits run and cutting the losses, which we're building. You see, we talked about it in the introduction. We're going to do that. We're going to build that to the nth degree. As much control as you need. I don't want to paint you in a corner. I don't want to paint you in a corner so that you're a trading vegetable. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to say to you, I'm a clean slate, I've gone into this, and you just sit there looking at the market in some kind of catatonic state. That's not what I'm trying to do. In fact, it's just the opposite. The awareness is going to be so you're like really excited about what you're watching. But this is the process that we do through tabula rasa. But going back to that example, you know how you've been there. You take 3 losses in a row, you're a little nervous. All right, you haven't been able to clean the slate, and so then you have a totally unrelated trade in some other market, but it goes up a little, and you've lost 2,000, and you grab 500, and of course that's the baby that kites, the trade of the year. Again, I'm going to say, everybody's been there. You're not the only guy to do it, or gal to do it. So what we have to do is realize that tabula rasa, boom, every night in the safe time, pulls it down, the markets are closed, we're going to get together at an exact time. It's going to be at 10 Eastern on the website, the data goes up. This isn't just going to be theory. But I got to start here. I got to start here with you. Or how are you going to use it? If you understand the concept, you're going to be able to know what to do. If something happens unexpected, you're going to know what to do because you understand the concepts. You can't have a situation where it outlines 50,000 scenarios. A hiccup occurs across the ocean. Something can happen in the markets. You have to be able to have the skill to discern market noise or a true situation. What am I going to do from an observer? Simply as a detached observer, and then you execute. Boom, boom, boom. I got to get you to that spot. All right? And I will. We just have to work through that. And we're going to go just like this. This is how class is going to be. So get used to it. All right? Yes, it's going to be challenging at times. Yes, you've got homework to do. This is hard work. It's not just getting some number and this is going to just be the answer. You have to take a point of departure like the pivotal number and build. And build in tabula rasa each night. But it's an exact strategy. Executing the opposites. We've talked about that. We're going to do that on the next part of the video. We need to identify situations that are causing you problems, and then we need to offset them. Okay, we're just going to have to work through this. What do you need to get rid of? You know, that's not down here, but that's basically what I'm talking about right now. What do you need to get rid of? What's working for you and what is frankly not working for you? We're going to need to do this today, tonight, whatever. You got to start making lists. You got to start getting there. You got to say, it's time for me to move forward, man. Today, stressing intent. Rome wasn't built in a day. You got to have the intent. The intent is yes. Instead of just, nobody's going to know. All right? You just have to sit there, and you and I sit here and say, okay, we're going to make this change and this change and this change because this is not working for me. I wish it was, but it's not. This does. I'm really good with this. I really see stuff in this, but it's not enough. So I don't have the edge. Okay, that's what we're going to work. It's the intent. You got the intent, you and I can work together. But the intent really means what is serving you, what's not in the process. This tabula rasa, eventually on so many layers, is so potent, it is so powerful that you're going to see major changes. Stuff is going to bubble up. And you say, well, why is he getting excited? Because I get excited about things of change, of starting fresh. That's an exciting concept, and we have every right to do it. Do you hear me? We have every right to do this. You're not going to learn, you're not going to make these changes if I don't sit here and tell you these things with an emphasis, in an emphatic style. But it's very potent, and it's very powerful, and it's not fun to look at all of the errors, quote unquote, you've made. All right, and I can say something cool like, oh, they were meant to be so that we're here, now you can see where you have to. Forget that. Let's just talk about that things are going to come up. You're going to watch the markets from a new perspective. You're going to watch them with how you can improve, not just by, is it going in my favor tomorrow and I cross my fingers. That is very powerful, and it's going to start taking effect. And as we move into layer 4 and layer 5, if you stick with me, then you're going to see just how intense this can get. Like we've discussed, remove, discard the useless, retain what's serving you, enter the market with an incredible new attitude of the observer, watching what bubbles up, deal with it, and use the market as an acid test again and again and again. The process never ends. And personally, just doing these notes allows me to go to subtle levels so I can see how to teach you better. So it works, it's fabulous for me because I put this together and go and say, okay, as I show you, it brings things up that I can more. I'm already on level 3, level 4, level 5 and how I want to be with you. So it's exciting. So we stand here looking in a mirror. That's basically what we're doing. We're trying to look in the mirror constantly. Not easy, to say the least. Believe me, it's hard to remove debris, and now we have to be doing it every day at the same time in a period I call the magical time. Well, you say, that doesn't seem too magical to me, to look in a mirror and see the debris. Come on, the process will eliminate. If you go back and you take a look at that mistake family video again, the 3 of them, and you get rid of those errors by offsetting them with their opposite, okay? Executing the opposite, my God, look at the way, where the jump you've made. It's a quantum leap, and we're in class 1, all right? So this is going to, like I say, then I can show you the pivotal numbers. Then I can show you an emotional pull. Then I can show you a perfect agreement formation. I can show you how to use openings. Those are easy teachings. Yes, many proprietary, many exciting, many based on, but you have to know how to use them, and that's why we have to go through this first. So how many of the 95% that lose do you think would have stuck through this, if they didn't, and are watching this? And saying, I'm willing to expose myself to this and go through this and comb through it with a specific plan. And that's what we're going to start doing. Let's take a 10-minute break because I want to stay fresh. And I'm going to get a drink of water, and then we're going to come back and we're going to start going through some of the questions that I need you to ask yourself today, tonight, and you make that list. I'll see you in 10.